Jambo, karibu, welcome to my channel. My name is Chilanda and this is Library Without Borders. Alrighty guys, so this video is very different. It's actually a video in which I was tagged by Tangible Reads, Miss Courtney. Hi Miss Courtney, thank you for thinking of me. So this one is a tag about Bookish A to Z, hot or not tag. And I looked up the question. I'm quite excited, so let's get into it. The prompts are as follow. Are they hot or not? A, audiobooks, definitely hot. I mean, it is very helpful to have audiobooks, especially when you're out and about and you're doing things in your house, you know, you're into chores and stuff like that. Audiobooks are very helpful to get through whatever books you set yourself to read. So I will say hot. Bildungsroman, dealing with the person's formative years or spiritual education. I don't know how to feel about that, so since I'm not too knowledgeable on that particular prompt, I'll just say not. Sorry. See, children's books. Yes, of course. I mean, I'm a mom of 4, so of course I love children's books, and I've actually bought a couple of them this summer, so definitely hot. E-digital. Is that like those e-Kindle and stuff like that? I'm not one to own one, but if I did, again, I think it'd be practical, right? If you don't want to bring a lot of books, say for example, if you're traveling, so digital would definitely work. So I would say hot. E, experimental. So in terms of books, what does that mean? Experimental. I'm not sure. Are they hot or not? Experiment. Are they hot or not? Experimental. I really don't understand this particular question, but I'm one to experiment. Okay, I'm not one to accept things as they are, so I would say experimental. I'd go for hot, even though I'm not too sure of the context of this particular prompt. F, fantasy. Now, I have read not that many fantasy books, but I plan to get into more of fantasy books during the new year. So far the fantasy book that I read, I wasn't too captivated by it. But it's not a category that I want to cross off. So I'll say hot. I mean, everybody seems to be in fantasy. And with the Rebecca Yarros's Fourth Wings and Iron Flame coming out and Sarah J. Maas, I mean, I need to get down with fantasy. So I'm going to say hot. G, graphic novel. I actually read my first graphic novel not too long ago. So I'll say hot. H, horror. Nah, that I'm literally doing the cross on it. Literally, no, not hot. I, inspirational. I love me some inspirational book. In fact, I love historical fiction because I find those books not only educational because you get to dive in the past, but I find them very inspirational. So I would say anything inspirational is definitely hot. Like, why not? It's inspiring. So why wouldn't it be hot? So hot for me. J, journalism. Unless you're talking about prompts that have journalism in it in books, I don't really dig that journalism, really. Journalism for me signifies, you know, propaganda. So unless it's like told in a story and all of that, as I said, so I'll say not. Ish. Has a popular or sentimental appeal. Okay, books. I do fall for books that have a certain hype to it, you know, sometimes if it falls into my genre. And a sentimental appeal, yeah, for sure. Hot. L, library. Now, I don't go to the library, but I plan to have my kids start there because they're still very young. But I know at their school they go to the library, and I like that for them. But me personally, I don't do the library. I love to go to bookstores and just bring the library to me, you know. So not hot. Sorry. M, mystery. I don't really read that genre, but if I find an interesting book with a mystery twist to it, you know, I can definitely read. But since I don't read a lot of mystery, I'll say not. Non-fiction. Oh, I love non-fiction. I actually read a lot of non-fiction books, like a lot of self-help books back in the days, and I haven't crossed that category of books, so definitely hot. For me, hot. Omnibus? I don't know what that means, so I'll pass. But since I don't know it, not hot. Poetry. Now, I don't read a lot of poetry, but I love poetry. I used to write myself a little bit of poetry back in the days, so I'll say hot. I should read more poetry. I'll say hot. Quests. When the protagonist goes on a quest, physical or spiritual. Ooh, I love that. I can get down with that, so hot. Romance. Now, I'm gonna say this about romance. I don't really read, like, in 10 books, I'll have like 1 or 2 romance books, but I can still read romance books. So the way I wanna answer this is that they're hot. Science fiction. Yeah, I've read some science fiction book. Hot. Translation. Books translated from one language into another, like from English to French or French to English. Yes, but another language. Yeah, as long as the English makes sense and the French makes sense and the book makes sense, sure, I'll say hot. Ubermensch? I don't know. The Superman or the extraordinary human. Characters who can everything. Who can do everything? Is that what I mean? Sure, that's hot. I mean, why not? If you could do everything, why wouldn't you? So I'll say hot. Victorian. Literature from 1837 to 1901. Now, the only thing with that period is that if you look at blacks during that time, it was during slavery, right? So since I'm into historical fiction, I will say hot because I like to hear those slave narratives into my historical fiction category. So I'll say hot. Western? Not really. I don't really. No, it doesn't speak to me. So not. Xrated? Xrated. What does it mean? Like adult or something? X-rated? Sure, hot. Sure. And why? Young adult. I read a couple of YA books, but it's not my genre that I would run to. I can definitely do without it, But I've read some good stories in that category, so I'll say hot. And lastly, zeitgeist. Spirit or mood of the times. Since I do not understand this prompt, I will say not hot. And there you have it, the A to Z bookish tag. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will tag the following people. Who do I want to hear from? I want to hear from Babe in Library, Lisa, Mora's Moods. I'd like to hear from her. Nell Diamond. I'd like to hear from her. I'd like to hear also from Alia. She's a newly booktuber that I discovered, Alia. And that will be the last person that I'm tagging for this video. Alright, you guys, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and your notification bell so that when I post my next video, you are notified. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!